What's up, guys? This is Jimmy, also known as Jumanji1776. This is your swing recap for June 21st. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button at the bottom right of your corner right here where you'll see the Goat Head OG. Here is our website. You can check it out. We are at optiongoatsllc.com. If you click on this link right here, it will take you to our Discord that we have right over here. Make sure to check out our YouTube channel. Hit subscribe there and go back to some of our swing recap videos. Every week I do this. I go over all the trades, some highlights that some of our members have made, the mods have made, the traders have made, and then I also go over a couple other stocks that I have on my watch list. I'm also going to go over a lot of positions right now because I have a pretty good amount of positions, but I have a lot of time on them. So I definitely want to bring up the TA on some of these stocks. And then make sure to check out the Benzinga Power Hour. I was on it today for the last 30 minutes. I talked about a play that I actually made today, which was on AI. I talked about AI, the Russell 2000, SPY, and the NASDAQ. So it was a lot of fun. Really happy to be on there, and I'm really excited for next time that I'm going to be on there. So, alrighty, so let's get to it, shall we? Let's see here. Let's go to profits. This is how it works every week. I'm going to go over some of the profits that we've had. So we came into Monday coming in hot. We had Q spreads, made money there. A nice 20 to actually ended up being 20-25% gainer right there. Pickle Rick, I see right here, made some money on HD on Home Depot. Looks like these were calls. So he probably swung these from Friday going into Monday because lumber prices started coming down throughout the week, and these would it's definitely not at 307 right now. So it looks like he made money on that. So good job, Pickle Rick, on that trade. That's an awesome trade right there. We were green on the Novavax credit spreads that I had, which I'll go over here in a bit. Still holding on to those. I am red on these. And so I'll go over what the play looks like. Warren Buffett, again, just killing it like he usually does. He has SWBI with 126% gainer right there. And then he's also got a 50% gainer right there on ASAN. So huge spotlight to Nas. He's been scalping a lot more this week. And right here, you can see he did really well on his SPY trade. So congratulations, Nas, on that trade. That looks awesome, man. 255 bucks on that scalp. Made it sounds like you made it only in a couple minutes. So that's an awesome trade right there. Warren here with a 200% gainer on SWBI he was updating. And then on SAN, he was back up to 40%. SF made a nice $20 gainer right here on Apple, 25% gainer there. We're huge on percentage gainers just because you can start by buying one, buying two, buying three, buying four, and then next thing you know, 25% is in $20 with more like 200, maybe 2,000, right? Nas, again, here with the scalp trades he's making, he's green on the day. I think he was 2 for 2 at this point. Warren Buffett here again with plug with 165% gainer. Again, plug right there. Nas this is his third day that he was green. It looks like he traded Apple, Boeing, and JD. So Nas, you had a spectacular week this week. You were unbreakable. So good trades there, Nas. Warren, here's that AMD call that he had. It went up 202%. Good job there. And also had an Airbnb up 25%, and then also had 86% on a Lee trade that he had. Devin had a really good trade on Tesla, made 28 bucks on his scalp trade. Hey, green is green, so that's awesome. Good job there. Nas, I think he was still green here. He took the cliff call, but he's only red by $6 on the Apple, so he was still good there. And then he also made 11%, which was $100. Excuse me, 11%, which was $100 on. I believe that might have been Cliff, Cleveland Cliffs. I can't remember what that one was on. Anyways, he was 4 for 4 on the week, and we were super happy that he made 4 for 4. It's really what makes us really happy is seeing members, go 3, 4, 5, 6 days in a row where they're green, and you can't ask for anything better than that. And if you're doing any type of risk management, that it takes a lot of days where you need to make sure you cut some of your positions. And I think Nas did enough of that in the past couple of weeks that he still had some money left over at the end, and he had just a 4-day winning streak. So good job, Nas. You definitely win it here. So Good job there. Warren again with the gains. That was about it. You know, we had kind of a slower week, not like last week or like, you know, the week before that, we had a great week. Last week was really, really good. The week before that was a little quiet. So now that we had the exciting week last week, this week was a little more quiet. Definitely into a lot more tickers than I have been in the past, but these spreads look really, really good on some of the stocks that we've been looking at. So let's dive in, shall we? I'm just going to go over the positions that I currently have. So the only two trade ideas that I had this week, was it the 21st? Actually, I had 3 different trades. Let's go over 3. Let's go over the 3 because the rest of them that I've had from last week were I still have them. So I'll go over them. But first, I'm going to go over some of the new ones that we got. So one of the new ones was on MasterCard. So I was selling a call vertical, which is, let's pull it up. Oops. Let's go to the chart. Okay, so we're looking at MasterCard. Oops. Let's make sure we're looking at MasterCard here. There we go. Let's put this away. Okay, so here we shorted MasterCard. Now let's zoom out a little bit on MasterCard. This is definitely a stock that it likes to consolidate, right? And that makes this stock really, really good for trading call spreads. So let me flip this to the daily. So other than it's been on this just absolute monster run, if we switch this back to the hourly, and we're looking at, you know, right here is only 1 week, this is 2 weeks, this is 3 weeks, right? This is only a month's worth right here. What we're really looking at is that typically when it comes up to these levels past 380, that we find the stock coming back down in a matter of 3 to 5 days. So what did we do? We decided to sell the 372.50 call and buying the 375. Now, if we go back in time and see how long has it spent, 1, 2, 3 weeks. Okay, so that's 3 weeks right there where it popped over and came back down. Could this just be the start of it coming back up and then going up and then coming back down? It could be. It could be. Definitely, I could have waited another day for it to pop over to 380. But either way, I would have collected the same premium. So really, it doesn't really matter. But now that it's been a new recent high right here, we're either going to get a nice bull run where it's going to go up to 390. I'm still going to hold the spread, and it's going to come back down where it'll come back down and test back the support at 365. So this is a stock that I really, really like selling premium on. If I wanted to change anything different, I wish I would have waited 1 day. And what I did there differently was that I was a little too eager and I wanted to sell the premium right away. Had I waited, I would have been at a way better position, and I would have been you know, giving myself a lot better positioning of the equity that I sold. So that way I would have had a higher probability of being in profits. Right now we're in losses, but we still have until 7/16. So that's all the way until, and yes, that's through earnings. I think we might actually get a run up to earnings, and the spread actually expires right here. We're either going to get a run up to earnings and then drop, or we're just going to stay flat and drop at earnings. Either way, I do think, oops, hold on, that's dividends. So we don't have an earnings, but I do still feel pretty bearish on the stock, or at least you know, give it some type of consolidation sense that I do think, you know, over the course of the next week or two, the stock is going to be coming down under 375, 372, enough for us to cash out and buy that premium cheaper, so that way we can profit from the spread. So that is the MasterCard play. And then the other one that I had yesterday was on Las Vegas Sands. So Las Vegas came out and said that they were going to open up the strip. They were going to open everything up to 100%. So I was looking at MGM and I was looking at LVS. Well, MGM has already been on a bull run these past, I mean, basically since November. It's gone from 20 all the way to 43, but it's one of those slower moving stocks. So if I were to go zoom into MGM and I had a spread that was like this, 44, and then made another that was 45, right? So if we had both of these up here, and let's say I was bullish on the stock, how much experience does this stock have above that 44 score? And it really doesn't have any history. So would I be buying the top if I were to go long up here? Absolutely. Absolutely. So I told myself, okay, well, I definitely do want to play in to, you know, some of the resorts in Las Vegas. So what I went as I went to Las Vegas Sands, right? And let's be honest, this is a stock that's been in a decline for the past couple months. If we take this to the daily since, oh wow, that took it all the way to 2013. Well, we don't need to go back that far, but if we go back to 2019, you can see this level where it's at right now is huge. It's absolutely huge. It's huge. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 times it's about to test the 52, 53 level. That's why those legs that I chose, oh, let's go over the play. So this one's different. We're not shorting a call vertical. We're buying a call vertical. We're buying the 53 and we're selling the 54. It's for 723. So the expiration that we have is going to take us all the way out to 723. Okay. And what I'm saying is that the stock is going to be above this line by this date. And I think what we did, instead of going into MGM, because again, MGM, if I were to go long here, does that make a lot of sense? No, it really doesn't. How many times that it tops off and it actually goes higher from there? Not here, not here, not here, not here, and not here. It kind of did here, but it's not going above when it's already made its peak. So that's hence why I really liked Las Vegas Sands, and I like where it's positioned. Has the stock have a lot of history being down here? Yes, it has a lot of history down here. And if I switch this back to the hourly, we are positioning ourselves for a bounce. Even if we get, you know, down to 48, 49, I wouldn't mind being averaging down and buying more spreads, because the odds of this stock coming back up from 47 or 50 is pretty high with this stock. It's pretty high with Las Vegas Sands. And I think we, you know, buying here would have been a mistake, buying here, mistake. But now we're under these trading ranges that it spent at the end of 2020, that there's going to be all this buying and volatility if we come back down to this level. So I'm looking for a break at 53 or 54 coming in next week, especially with any kind of Las Vegas news. So that one was a lot of fun. Really, really like the Las Vegas trade. All right, so last one, and this was from today, and this was on the Benzinga Power Hour video that I made, but this was on AI. So if you've been following the videos, you'll know that I'm short on a lot of positions such as QQQ, Fastly, and also on QQQ, Fastly, and I'm trying to think of the other stock that I'm in. Novavax. I'm putting Novavax in there just because it is a biotech, you know, vaccination company, and I am short on that, and that does follow with NASDAQ. So QQQ, Fastly, and Novavax I'm short on. I wanted to get into something that had some good technical analysis standpoint that would look good if the NASDAQ were to keep going. And AI is probably the best setup that I've seen in a while. So here it is. Here's AI, right? If you watch the Benzinga video, I go over this in really, really good detail. But all you need to know is that right now it's held this support really, really well at 60, and it's popping back above it right now. And on the show, I said maybe 65 to 70 strikes. Instead, I did the 70 to 75 strike, just to be sure that I'm not paying a lot of money for something that might actually biff in the near future. So there were two things that I was looking at: the strike prices and the fill price. So if we go back to the play, what I did was I bought the call vertical spread. I bought the 70 call and I sold the 75 call. And then I did the October expiration. So let me go back to QQQ. Let's look at the NASDAQ. It's at all-time highs right here. If it decides to stay up here and consolidate as much time as it did back in April, we might see a lot of NASDAQ stocks popping off. AI would be one of those stocks that would be popping off because of how low it is, right? If we get a little bit more volatility in the NASDAQ and a lot more tech stocks, we might see this stock pop over to 70, 75, maybe even 90, enough for us to get out of the debit spread with profits. So I really like this play. This is one that I shared in the free signals. So I try to share a free signal every month. This is one that I feel fairly confident in. If it doesn't pop up in July or August, like I said, we have the October expiration. So we have a pretty good amount of time for this to work out and at least give us a rip above 75. So I really, really like that play. Okay, so moving on, I'm going to go over some of the other, some of the older plays. That's it for some of the new ones that we had this week, but we still have the cat butterflies. So lumber was diving today. It's been diving, and I think Cat and Home Depot and Lowe's are following the trend with lumber prices. Cat is the only one. If I go to HD, it had a really, really nice pop, and if I go to Lowe's, it also had a really nice pop. Cat, it's not having as much pop as I wanted to. So I would kind of wish I would have done the butterfly on HD or Lowe's, but there's nothing we can do here. But what we did was we have next week's expiration for the 227.50, 230, and 232.50 butterflies here and here. So what we're wanting, we paid $20 for each of them, either by July 2nd or July 9th. You're going to want this stock to be somewhere in that range, so somewhere in this target zone in order for us to profit either 100, 200, 300%. Very low probability from the butterflies, right? That's why we spent only $20 on this one and $20 on this one with a max profit of $230. So I still really like this play. We don't know what lumber prices are going to be on Monday. We don't know what it's going to be tomorrow. So this is one that you kind of have to keep the lumber prices close on hand, because if this stock starts to turn down and we're actually going to go down, I wouldn't mind selling a call spread against this in case this stock decides to come down, so that way we can get our money back on the $40, right? Small amounts. The more time you're right, you're going to be more in, your portfolio is going to be more at an advance. So again, high volume trades going into this butterfly. Really like the butterfly. Like I said, maybe we might make a put butterfly coming down here and make it $20. Probably not for next week. We'd probably have to stretch it out to July 9th or the week after. So still really like this play. We do have a lot of volume coming in on Cat at this area. So if we could get a break above 222, 223, we'll be in the game still. So moving on. So let's look at Qs. I still am holding my 345, 346 call spreads that I sold up here. I still really like them. We still have a week left for it to at least dip down to 340. Yes, I do think it's going to dip down to 340 next week. We are going to get some type of setback, but I do think I am bullish on NASDAQ long term, that we're going to keep going up after this, but we're not going to do it without it dipping at least $10. The stop loss I have on this credit spread, if NASDAQ goes to 355, I'm cutting the spread. That's going to be a $10 drop that it's going to be needing in order for me to get some of my money back. If it breaks 355, I wouldn't be surprised if it goes to 360. So NASDAQ is on super watch this upcoming week. Really, really excited to see what the NASDAQ does. So moving on, the Novavax. So this was the play that we were holding on to. I'm not letting it go. We are definitely getting, this week was some really, really good signs from Novavax. So going back, the play here was I had the 50 and the 200 SMA, and every time they intersected, it would the stock would go lower. I didn't think about that. The levels that I picked on the spread were actually a very, very strong support on the stock, which was the 172, 175. Now, being that said, if we take the trend line from up here to here, we are in a strong downtrend. So do I think this stock is going to be under 172 by July 9th? Absolutely. I think this right here is just a false bullish breakout. As you can see, not only on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we consolidated and we were riding the 200 SMA. Super bearish sentiment going into the next week, which is really nice. I think we got really good time on this. We didn't get the July 2nd expiration. No, because if we use this trend line, technically we might not get there until July 14th. And what did we do? We got the July 9th. So I'm really happy with this play. I do think it's going to work out. Did we get in early? Probably. Are we wrong? I don't think so. So I'm gonna keep watching Novavax. The news with the medication, with the Alzheimer's news that came out this previous week, when Pfizer and some of the other Eli Lilly, when they came out more with the Alzheimer drugs and more information on that, Novavax went up with it, and that was just because it's in the same sector as it. So there's really nothing that we could have done there. Do I still think this stock is coming down from that huge pump that it had back in January? Absolutely. This was all just from the news on COVID, and this really hasn't had anything to do with COVID in the recent months. So I still don't think this stock, if it's going up, it's not going up off of any kind of fundamental news. And so that's why I'm really liking it on the downtrend. So moving on, let's see. So we went over Novavax, went over AI. Let's see. There's LVS, there's MA, Novavax, Qs. Oh, GENE or GENI. So let's look at GENI. So GENI right here. Okay, so again, this one is an iron condor that we did. The stock was already out of the money when we did the iron condor. So what does that mean? So that means I sold premium of put premium almost at full profit, right? I'm selling a really good amount of premium by selling an iron condor when I'm down here, right? For the put side, but for the call side, I'm still collecting some type of premium. Now, what does that mean if the stock goes above 2250 or below 20 at time of expiration? I'm going to be losing. What did we pay for that spread? $50, right? We received the max loss. Excuse me. The max loss that we have on there is $54. So the premium that we collected was $195, right? So that is really, really good odds. So if the stock is, I'm bullish on the stock, but I did not want to sell put premium because there might be a good chance that we might consolidate. So to make it worthwhile, I sold an iron condor that was a 20 to 2250 spread. So that way you're only risking $50 to make a profit of $200, right? So I still feel really good about this stock. This one alongside with AI, if the NASDAQ starts going higher and higher in the coming weeks, this is definitely going to be one that's going to be in the profit zone where we're going to be able to cash out another 50 to 100 bucks. Still watching it very, very closely. This is definitely a stock that I really, really like. It moves in certain ways that you can make all kinds of different spreads, butterflies, iron condors, going into here. I think somebody asked saying like, hey, like, why isn't the stock in the middle? Don't you want it in the middle? It really just depends on what you can get premium collected, whether it's up here, down here, up here. I expect the stock to be in this area. So that was the main reason why I picked that specific area. So if the stock goes in this area between 20 and 2250, again, I'll be able to double my money or triple it. So really excited about that play. Moving on, I think the only thing I have left is Fastly, and this one might be a loser. This one might actually be a loser. Fastly, I underestimated Fastly. This was the gap that it filled, and I was expecting it to come down after this run up, and no, it decided to break out again. So it popped over to 60. It might even go to 62 or 65 from here on out, honestly. The only thing I can hope for is that it'll either pop really high and then come down pretty hard, but it's not looking good. I put in what I wanted to risk in this trade, which was not a lot because it felt like a good trade, but it didn't feel like a trade that I needed to spend a lot of premium on. So I'm happy that I didn't put a lot of money on this trade. Let's see if I can find the call out. So yeah, here it is. Yeah. So premium collected was $42. The max loss was 58. So again, it's going to be a $60 loss on a trade that really should have been really, really easy. If I would have gone back to change anything, I wish I would have waited for this gap to fully fill and then do it and then do the play. But now we're looking at July 2nd, and that only gives us a week for the stock to go from here to here. Right, so now we need it to completely crash or come down next week, which with the way the NASDAQ and a lot of other tech stocks are looking, this might be just a loser. It's already at the full amount of loss on that is basically my stop loss. So there's really no point. I'm glad that I only did one, right? If I did four, the max of the positioning that I would do, we would probably be a lot bigger losses, but I kind of underestimated, and I also kind of didn't underestimate the stock because I knew it might pop, but I also thought that the call premium was also worth selling from where it was when it was down here. Instead, it just popped up. So that ended up being one of the losers. So other than that, though, everybody had a pretty good week. It seemed like we got a pretty good amount of new traders that came in that were really eager to learn how to do spreads, because they start to see that all I do is spreads. And I think, you know, the more education that you learn about spreads, the more you can try to critique it and personalize it and tailor it to your needs and the way you trade, so that way you can use spreads to your advantage. Because I don't think, you know, buying calls and puts, one thing that members underestimate is that you have to pay theta, right? When you buy something, you are paying theta. You're paying to have that equity every day. You're losing money on it. Whereas you have a spread, especially if you're selling a spread, you're really, that's to your benefit, right? If I sell a premium, unless it pops off in the wrong direction, I'm going to be collecting premium on that trade. So really, really liking the way that the chat is going in recent days. I won't be on, for those that watch this video, I won't be on starting after this video until July 2nd. So I will be very limited. If I am updating my position, it's at the end of the day, which I don't plan on changing any of my positions or entering any on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, just because I'm not going to be near my laptop, nor am I going to be online or want to be online. I'm going to be completely just turned off, going on my honeymoon. So very, very excited for that. Again, hit that like and subscribe button on the bottom right corner. Again, if you can go to our website, go to join now and see some of, excuse me, and then go to our Discord. If you go to our channel, you can see the week's, the swing recaps. Oh, and don't forget, we also have our weekly Hall of Famer, and then we also have our monthly winner as well. So let's start with the Hall of Fame winner. And he posted it in, let's see here, him member trades. Here we go. Oh, and it's his birthday. Nice. So Pickle Rick scalped, and he scalped the SPY puts for today. Looks like he did the 1 day. My gosh, very, very ballsy to do that. That's awesome. Looks like he paid 480 and came out with 100 and, or excuse me, with 10% profit. I did the math, and it's 480. 524 was what he got out with, and he risked 480 for a quick scalp. So awesome there. That was a 10% gainer. So congratulations, Pickle Rick. You won the Hall of Fame winner this week, and you'll be entered for this month's winner, which I'm literally just about to announce. So this month's winner of the month of June, let's make sure, because I think what we're gonna do, let me make sure. Yeah, because we did 1, 2, 3, we've done 4. So next week will be the first week of July, since the video will be made on Saturday. So where do I start with this guy? He really deserves it this week. Let me make sure I find him, because he was the Hall of Fame winner at the beginning of this week, beginning of this month. Let's see if I find him. Nice, here it is. Congratulations, Naz. Naz, you won the Hall of Fame winner of the month. So what Naz did, he was the very first winner of the week. He won the he had an XLE call, and he called it out in member trades, and he came out with a 48% profit, made 97 bucks on his equity on his trade. So congratulations, Naz, you won the monthly June winner. So make sure to message Elma or Brady to get your $50. And thank you to everyone. You know, it's really, you know, thank you to everybody else that shares their member trades and everything. We had some new members, some old members, and you know, Naz, with being 4 for 4 this week with scalping, you know, he really, really deserved the winner. And so congratulations, Naz, on winning the monthly winner. And keep posting your scalp trades, because we appreciate it. So that's it for me, guys. This is the end of the video. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button down here. And if you have any questions, feel free to DM me. And if you have any questions or concerns, or maybe you have some tips or tricks or advice, maybe trades that you're into, make sure to go to our website, join the Discord right here, and then also subscribe to our YouTube. So until then, have a great weekend, and we'll see you until next week. Bye.